business, marketing, sales. Always keen to assist and help where I can. So let me know. And then, oh shit, am I on Instagram? Am I live on Instagram now? Did I do this correctly? I think I am. Let's go. Okay, I'm live everywhere, finally. Who's hanging out with me? Miss P, I see you. I have so much to update you on. Gonna send an email this week. Dom Gillion, go for it, man. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on. It's a Monday. Hope you guys are well. Are we crushing it? How's you feeling about this week? Are you anxious? Are you excited? What's happening in your life right now? What can I help with? What do you need perspectives on? Is there anything that I can potentially help with? All right, I see on Instagram we're not wasting time. First question just came in. SARS wants travelers to report to them. Retarded, okay? More of a statement, but I like it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Let's keep them coming. Just setting up some stuff here. Why is my system a bit broken? Here we go. All right. So we've got TikTok, we've got YouTube, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram. Let's go. All right. Some questions coming in. Here we go. I'm an unemployed computer scientist who wants to be in the AI community. Any advice? This is from Cheese Ntande. So you can literally just click on my link in my bio on Instagram. You can literally just click there and there should be a free AI masterclass you can join. And there should also be a link straight into the community if you want to be a part of it. And we're going to teach you some cool stuff. We're teaching you how to build some cool stuff with AI. There's a beginner course. There's an advanced course for those who are interested to learn more about the world of AI. So I am always obsessed with the latest technology. I'm always obsessed with what you can use at your disposal today to give you leverage over competitors in the marketplace. And today, that's AI. I mean, yes, digital marketing is a big thing. Most people now know that they have to be on all these different channels, and your business needs to be seen and it needs to be active and all these things. However, at the same time, what can you actually use that competitors are not aggressively using? And right now, that's AI. And AI is interesting because it gives you compounding leverage. Back in the day, when you had one employee working for you and someone else had one employee, then technically you have the same amount of leverage. So in the Industrial Revolution, if you think about it, the person who had 1,000 people working for him had a lot more leverage than the person who had 10 people working for him. And that's how people built leverage back in the day. And then along came the internet, and then leverage was created through the ability to have an audience. It was created through the ability to reach more people and be able to sell to more people. But now AI came along, and this is essentially leverage, can now be seen as the fact that you can almost have a workforce that's completely artificial, that can help you do all the various things that humans would normally do at a much faster, more, I would say, effective, and for a much longer time as well before anybody gets tired. AI doesn't get tired, so you've got the ability to do things faster, do things better. So if you're looking to build leverage for yourself, then AI can essentially help you do that, which is great. So if you're learning AI skills right now, then you're on the right path. educate us about something new that you're busy with currently. So just in my own life, what we're currently busy with is there's so much going on. I said to someone the other day, I feel like a bit like a passenger in my own life, to be honest. I feel like, you know, when you're driving in a car and you're looking outside the window, and let's say you're driving past, you know, a series of trees for that's, you know, like next to the road. It's almost like when you look at the road, everything is still and nothing changes much. But when you look to the side, it's just this blur because you're going at such a pace where you can't really focus on one tree at a time. I feel like that passenger right now. I feel like someone sitting in the passenger seat of my own life and just watching these trees go by. But that's also just how I live my life, I suppose. It's like I'm just completely in flow with the universe. And I believe that everything that happens for a reason. And I try and do what I can, and I do my best on a daily basis. But that's kind of like how I'm feeling right now. Like there's so much going on that I'm partially overwhelmed, but I'm getting used to it. The other thing is that, yeah, we're working on some cool projects. I'm trying to think what I can give you some information on, because most of them are stuff we can't talk about yet. But what I can say is, you know, we've just recently sold some shares in a cool business, and we, you know, really excited about the fact that we've gotten it right to not only build a business within 3 years that's actually valuable for people to invest in, but that we have done it with 2 businesses outside of, you know, V8 Media and V8 Capital that we have. So it feels like we're doing something right. It feels like the universe is just saying, hey, keep going. You're on the right path, you know? So I feel gratitude. I feel a sense of joy and fulfillment, and just grateful for the journey so far. But less about me and more about you. Let's quickly see if we've got any questions here. My biggest frustration is content creation that suits the South African buyer psychology. Built, developed, leaning AI education digital products that is also affiliate products. It's entry level to give all of SA an opportunity to grow in the AI digital space. So let me know if there's a question there, Ilonka Boata. My biggest frustration is content creation. So listen, if you have a brand and you're selling products, then you need to create content, period. You can't shy away from it, okay? It doesn't matter whether it frustrates you or not, you have to do it. It's not going to be you that's doing it, the brand has to do it. But ultimately, it's always ROI positive for the founder to do it too. Because let's say you sell your business tomorrow, then you have to build a brand new business from scratch and create content for all of that. So the reason I'm going so deep into personal brand and why I'm taking personal brand quite seriously over the last, I'd say, 12 months or so, is because everything flows from it. You know, if you build a personal brand for yourself, it just creates more leverage and more opportunity. We've spoken about leverage before. And if you put yourself out there and you have the ability to offer some value in the marketplace, and you actually have things on the back that you can sell to people, then building a personal brand is very ROI positive, because it's something that AI can't necessarily replicate. AI can't replicate that personal human connection yet. And essentially that gives you the most amount of leverage over most companies that are faceless or AI driven. And on top of that is, like, people want to work with people. We live in a world where people just want to work with people, right? It is how it is. So by you getting more seen by more people and building trust with those people, you increasing the surface area of opportunity to doing business with those people. And ultimately, if you had to sell your business, you still have your brand. So if you had, let's say, 100,000 followers and you sold your business, it doesn't matter that you sold your business, you still have 100,000 followers, which means if you had to launch the next business tomorrow, there's 100,000 people who potentially have the opportunity to learn more about what you do and whether it's a fit for them, and if the solution that you have is actually a fit for the pain that they're trying to solve. And it just gives you a platform to kickstart the next opportunity. So for a long time, I was like, do I need to go deep into personal brand? Should I not? And I've taken it I've dabbled with it over the last, I'd say 5 years or so. And I'm actually at a point where I'm taking it seriously. And if I take it seriously, I think everybody should. But yeah, so Ilonka, to you, I want to say, whether you're frustrated or not, it's something that it will massively benefit you if you do it right. So keep going, keep doing it. Greetings from Chile. Wow, got someone in Chile? Nice, thank you, my brother. Appreciate the love and support. Do you also offering mentoring? So I've got a lot of people asking for mentoring. However, I don't see myself as a mentor per se. Happy to, I love giving advice, and I'd like to consider potentially a mentorship program. Maybe it is something I'll take a little bit more seriously. If it's something that you'd be keen on, let me know, and then I can look into it. So I appreciate you asking that. And the more people ask those questions, and the more people feel like they can get value out of my perspectives, the more I'd be open to assisting and maybe doing something. However, I don't want to be that guru that has a mentorship program, but I do love sharing advice, and I do love sharing perspectives. And I've been building businesses and been deep into marketing, since I was 21. So I'm 37 now. So I've been doing this for over 16 years, and maybe there's some value that I can share. How will a free AI community help me gain capital to join paid courses? So in the free AI community, you can learn how to build AI stuff that you can potentially sell in order to make you money, that can help you pay for the courses or the mentorships that you need. If you have AI skills today, there's a good chance you can add value to a business, and a business would happily pay you to potentially add value to their specific company with solving their specific pain points that AI could potentially, patch and execute in a way that's just better and more efficient, allowing them to grow faster. So I think you should not ask, how will a free AI community help me? It's more like, how will learning AI skills help me make money? And learning AI, any AI skills specifically that a business can benefit from, like learning how to create content with AI, learning how to build customer support solutions with AI, learning how to build outreach systems with AI, learning how to potentially build business intelligence dashboards with AI, learning how to build native or very specific CRMs for the company with AI. All of those things are opportunities in the marketplace right now that you can obviously look at. Someone on TikTok's asking, Bertus Groenewald's asking, how do you beat a string of bad days, bad months? Dude, that's such a great question. And I think most people struggle with that, right? Because we're just human beings. But I just beat bad days by knowing tomorrow is another day. And there's a good chance that tomorrow will be a good day. I tell myself tomorrow will be a good day. And 90% of the time it actually is, because I have this belief that whatever you think becomes your reality. There's a book, many books I've read, that basically talks about how your thoughts start to create your reality. And it's something I never believed, I think when people told me back in the day, like, all you have to do is think positive stuff and positive things will happen, I never really believed that. I never really subscribed to it because I'm a logical human being. My brain is very logical. So I was like, how does putting random thought into the universe actually gives you the things that you think about? It doesn't make any sense. But then someone told me, listen, if you are a very logical being and you're trying to understand how the universe works and how reality works, then you should look into quantum physics. And when I started looking into quantum physics, that's actually when I started to understand how my thoughts create my reality. Because if you understand quantum physics, you understand that everything is just molecules, atoms, and subatomic particles vibrating at specific speeds. And it's the vibration of those particles that create what you see today as matter, this table, my body, this, water cup that I'm drinking out of. So in essence, when you understand quantum physics, you start to understand how your thoughts affect reality. And I think also that's what a lot of the prophets and a lot of spiritual teachers try to teach us. I think that's one of the things Jesus came to teach us, is to tell us that everything is energy. Everything is molecules vibrating at specific speeds. And you can affect that with your thoughts, because your thoughts are energy too. If everything is energy, then it means your thoughts are energy, and the stuff that you engage with is energy. So there's a probability there's a very high probability that your thoughts can actually affect the things around you. And when you read the book called Mind to Matter, which is a very cool book, it explains how your thoughts actually affect the reality around you and how you can heal yourself, how you can literally heal yourself with your own thoughts. Joe Dispenza is one of the people who's also very vocal on how your thoughts create reality. And long story short, I took magic mushrooms when I was 33 years old, and it completely changed my life, because right there and then I could 100% see how everything is energy. And I had this huge epiphany moment. It's almost like I had all these universal downloads into my mind, into my body. And I started feeling energy. I started seeing energy. I started realizing that everything is just energy. And when you have a few bad days, Baptist, to get back to your question, is that I keep reminding myself that there's a reason this is happening, because I'm creating it. I'm creating these bad days with my energy. And those bad days are most likely a result of the energy or the feelings that I've had before. So if I had feelings of insecurity, feelings of, maybe failing at certain projects, feelings of not being good enough, feelings of anxiety or stress, then often that starts to materialize 3 to 4 days, 5 days later. And when you then change your perspective about those things, when you start to see that those things are just a representation of the energy that you're vibrating, then you can just choose to feel differently about life. So often what I do is I start to journal, I start to write, and I say to myself, today will be a good day. And 8 out of 10 times when I do that, it is a good day. It's just weird. It's almost like you decide, today will be a good day. And the moment you decide something, it's weird what starts to happen. It is so freaking weird, my friend. I know it doesn't make any logical sense, but when you start to understand quantum physics, you start to understand how the thoughts in your mind start to create the reality that you perceive. Someone's asking, can you check a DM? I would like to ask some advice. If you wouldn't mind, just ask it here and I can answer it now for you. I'm terrible at replying to DMs. Ibrahim says, hey, Jandre, always love being here and learning. Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for joining. Really means a lot. Let's see who else is here. Cheese says, thank you. It's such a pleasure. What would your top 3 books on this topic would you recommend? So the topic of thoughts create your reality. There's literally a book called Mind to Matter. There's a book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. And let's see what else. Mind to Matter, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and let me find you one more. I do have one, but you're not going to find it though, because it's not something that's on shelves. So I'm not going to recommend that specific one. The Secret, actually. So The Secret is a very diluted version of quantum physics. Like The Secret just focuses on thoughts create your reality. But I think those 3 books will help you a lot. I'll start with The Secret, then I'll do Mind to Matter, and then I will read Joe Dispenza's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Because then that should give you the foundation of truly understanding how your thoughts create your reality between those 3 books. And it will appeal to both the right-minded individual, like people who use their right part of their brain, and left-minded people who focus more on the left part of the brain. So it's more people who are make decision more from emotion and intuition versus people who make decisions with logic. So those 3 books will combine like both left and right brain people, if that makes sense. Are you an investor? Yes, I am. We officially started investing in businesses back in 2023. Anything direct to consumer, high margin, great industry that's growing, and ideally a product or brand that's ready to disrupt that industry. That is what we love backing. Let's see what else we've got here on TikTok. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks for joining, by the way. So lucky to see you, Mandy, Mo Arab. Let's see, Devani. Thanks for joining, guys. And then let's see what other questions we have. Should a small business do ads themselves or hire someone? I think, to be honest, if you're a small business with limited cash and you don't know how to hire the right person, because if you're a small business, normally you don't know how to hire because you've never really hired people before, because that's why you're small. Because you're small, it means you haven't hired a lot of people, and the lack of the ability to hire good people, or not having the right systems in order to hire great people, I would just say your money is probably better spent teaching yourself how to run ads and how to market the business yourself, for the, not forever, just for the time being. I think it's important for a founder to have an understanding of what's important from a marketing point of view. I'm not saying that you need all the technical know-how, but if you had a limited budget, I really advocate that you learn how to advertise your own business. Using meta ads, using TikTok, learning how to post content organically, all those things. I really believe that is the number one skill that you can build for yourself, whether that's valuable to this business or the next. Because when you understand how to sell, right, you can sell anything. You don't just have to sell the business that you're involved with now. Once that is not working anymore, you've sold it or you moved on, you can apply those skills to the next business too. So I really think that it is ROI positive for small businesses to learn how to do these things themselves, up until a point where you can afford to hire someone. And then the question is, how do you actually hire that person? How do you actually go about making sure that you find the right person for the job? And that's a completely different conversation. But my point is, yes, if you're a small business with limited cash, as opposed to hiring someone, figure out how to do it yourself first and just get an understanding of how it works. Because when you do hire someone, you're going to appreciate them so much more, and you're going to also have an understanding of whether they can truly add value or not. For all you know, they could be taking you for a ride if you're completely unaware of how these things work. They can completely be, scamming you without you even knowing it. And maybe they're not even doing it intentionally, but it's just they think they can help you. They're throwing all these numbers and metrics at you, and you're just going, that's great, but my bank account is not growing. So I do believe it's ROI positive for a small business to learn how to do ads themselves, unless there is someone in your network who's highly reputable, that has the know-how on how to work with limited budgets in order to get the maximum amount of impact out of those budgets. But that's very hard to do. It's very seldom you get people that understand how to work with small amount of money and to actually get money back from it. It's not a skill that's just available in the marketplace. There's very few people. A lot of people claim they can do it, but very few people can truly do it. Hope that makes sense and that helps. How much should you spend before you know if an ad works? Okay, that's a great question. So how much money should you be spending on ads before you turn an ad off, or before you decide that that ad is not working anymore? So just a rough calculation, rough formula. There's different formulas depending on different situations and different types of products, because you get low ticket, high ticket, and all of them have different conversion rates, and all of them convert at different rates, essentially. But I'd say if you've spent more than 3 to 4 times your average order value, then I'd most likely say it's time to cut that ad. So if your average order value of your store is hypothetically $700, and you've spent anything between 2,100 Rand to 2,400 Rand without getting a sale, then it's most likely time to cut that ad, because that ad is not converting. And even if you had to get 2 sales over the next day, it's still roughly around 1,000 Rand, which puts you at a negative ROAS. So ultimately, you want to find yourself in a situation where you cut your ads before they start wasting you too much money. But unfortunately, you have to give the ad some time. You can't just pause an ad if it's at 700 Rand order value. So if you have a 700 Rand order value and the ad is running at 700 Rand without getting a sale, it doesn't mean you should cut it, because that ad can randomly get 2 sales tomorrow, and then your cost of purchase is technically $350, which means you've got a 2x ROAS on a brand new ad, which is not terrible. So you have to give it enough space, and that is roughly, I'd say, a 3 to a 4x multiple on the average order value. Does that make sense? But must I conclude that? So the question is, how do you know when an ad is working or not? When should you cut it? The answer is very simple. What is the average order value of the store? If your average order value is $700, then ideally you want to multiply that by 3 or 4 And once the ad has spent that amount of money without a sale, you cut it. So technically, if the ad has spent 2,100 to 2,400 Rand without getting a sale, it's time to cut it. Okay, it's time to cut it. It's not making you your money back. Talking about mushrooms, I tried this product that had all the stuff inside made for kids, ADHD, but still really work. But that stuff really works. I'm already so busy, but I reckon we could sell the product together. Yeah, I mean, mushrooms are great, but I'm speaking about psilocybin. I'm talking about the magic mushrooms. I'm talking about the stuff that actually numbs your ego and allows your subconscious to come to the surface. That is the stuff that I wish more people used. I actually, encourage every single person to do magic mushrooms at least 3 times in their life, not once, because a lot of people would do it once and then have a bad experience. And what they realize is that they go, I had such a bad trip. You know what? You had the exact trip that you needed. Mushrooms are a teacher. It's from this earth, it's from Mother Nature, and they are designed to help you understand what you need to understand about yourself so that you can improve and grow as a soul. That's really what I believe. And some people might call that bullshit, but 100% do I believe that you experience what you're supposed to experience. So if you had a bad trip, then you shouldn't be judging it. You shouldn't be saying I had a good or a bad trip. You should be saying I experienced exactly what I needed to experience to become a better version of myself. And I think that is what mushrooms do. I've done mushrooms 3 times in my life, and I try and essentially do it every single year. I haven't done it in 2 years, but every time I do, it is like I'm a completely new human being. It's almost like I've reprogrammed myself and I've leveled up. It's like Jandre 2.0. And then I do it again, and it's Jandre 3.0. And then I do it again, and it's Jandre 4.0. Like every time I just get more self-aware, better at understanding what I want for myself, better understanding the universe, better understanding reality. It's just fucking amazing. I wish more people was open to taking magic mushrooms, but not recreationally, but with the intention to learn more about themselves and how reality actually works. If it wasn't for magic mushrooms, I promise you I wouldn't have been able to do what we've done, because it was such a massive change in my perspective of life. I used to micromanage. I used to, have neurotic anxiety about certain things. I used to always question whether I'm doing the right thing with my time. And yeah, it was like I was shown how reality works. And since then, it's just been absolutely amazing. Cool. I'm just making sure I'm still in the middle of the frame here. What are the benefits of having those mushrooms 3 times? So yeah, I hope that answered your question, Tato. I really think that if you have it once, it's almost like you get a glance on what's possible, right? It's almost like you will see what you need to see, but there's a good chance that doesn't unlock everything or your full potential yet. And I think after 3 attempts, after 3 times using magic mushrooms over a period of, let's say, 2 years or 3 years, you actually at a point where you have unlocked almost like your full perspective of reality and your full potential. And that doesn't happen with one trip necessarily. I think very few people experience that level of awareness and only one trip, because it's so overwhelming. The first trip is like, you don't know what the hell is happening, but you just know, it is constructive, and you know that it's almost like it's stimulus overload. And the second time, you're kind of like really prepared for it. And in the third time, it's almost like you're just ready for it. You surrender to it. And I think that time is the most powerful, because you already know how to deal with a little bit of nausea. You already know how to deal with dark places in your subconscious that you don't necessarily want to be. You already know how to deal with, just everything that throws at you, which allows you then to see it from a completely different lens. If it's your first experience, you're just completely overwhelmed with all the stimuli. If it's your second experience, it might not even be the same experience. So it's like, this is a completely different effect. But after the second time, I think you have the ability to make the third time completely worth it, just because of your ability to navigate your subconscious. I think having them in the right environment is extremely important, 100%. I didn't want to make this a mushroom life, but you're absolutely spot on. Like, it's all about energy. So it amplifies the energy that you're feeling. So if you are going to have an anxious feeling, if you've had a tough week and an anxious week and you're stressed out and you take that stuff, then essentially it's just going to bring more of that energy out. And you're going to most likely see things about yourself that is helping you understand why you feel that way. And that's not going to be fun. It's going to show you demons, and not demons per se, but your own demons. I mean, your own insecurities. It's going to show you your own insecurities. It's going to show you your own, issues that you have and how you're dealing with reality because of it. And that's not fun. Like, that is not fun. It's not nice to scratch the surface on those things that create so much pain. It's not nice to dig into our insecurities and to better understand our egos. It's never a fun experience. But when you do experience it, like for me, it's fun, because for me, there's no judgment. I don't judge myself. I think my ability to not judge myself is probably one of my biggest and most proud skills. I don't judge myself. Like, if I fuck up, I fuck up. I feel bad that someone else might have been affected by that fuck up. And then I do my best to do right by them, because of I believe I've got good intentions, and I want everybody to be treated with respect, and I obviously want everybody to win. But ultimately, it's weird. Like, I don't judge myself based on my mistakes. I get over shit very quickly. And I really believe that is my biggest asset that I have for myself, is the ability to just move on quickly. I would get upset about something, and there's been a scenario where I've thrown my phone at the floor and it broke, and I had to go buy a new one the same day. But it was for 1 minute, and I was very conscious of what I was doing. And then I was like, well, I'm over it now. And I just completely, surrendered regarding that topic. And I realized, I was only upset for like a minute, even though it was extremely intense. A minute later, I was so calm and I was so over it, and it didn't even bother me in the slightest. And that's when I realized it's my ability to just move on, my ability to overcome these things, and to not judge myself, and to not get too lost in the moment, or to linger in the moment. Let me put it that way. I might lose myself in the moment, but it's not something that you linger on. It's not something that sits there 2 days later. Like, I literally chucked my phone at the floor, broke it, and then I was like, fuck it, now I need to go buy a new one. That's okay. It's not fun. It's not good. It's not nice to know. But it was a situation where I was like, well, I did it. I'm not going to judge myself. I'm not going to feel bad for it. It is what it is. I've learned a lot from it, and now I move on. How long is the effect of mushrooms? Sounds scary. Yeah, it depends on how much you take. If you take a good 2-3 gram dosage, it might be 3 to 4 hours. I think every gram is roughly an hour, is a rough estimate, but don't ask me. I'm not an expert. All right, back to some marketing and business questions. I'd love to talk about mushrooms. I love mushrooms. But let's make sure there's some value. If you guys want to talk about mushrooms, we can talk about mushrooms. I don't mind. I'm currently going through it, bro. I'm 100K worth of debt at 23, failing in the logistics business. Bro, can I tell you something, Tato? You are not currently going through it, my friend. Your 100K in debt at 23 is your ticket to becoming one of the most successful people in your family. You think that everybody who started a business just started it and made massive success? There's Alex Hormozi. I don't know if you know him. He's failed 12 times. Let me tell you, version 8, V8, what it's actually standing for, it's version 8. Like, if you go and look at our logo says version 8. See there? Version 8. What does version 8 mean? Well, a lot of people ask me. It's double-sided. It means V8, which is the engine of a business, but it's probably 8th time that I've tried something. Like, V8 was probably the 8th attempt at building something, at trying to make a success out of something. So you need to rephrase how you look at your situation, my friend. You're sitting there going, oh, I'm in it, and this sucks, and I'm 100K in debt. What you should think is, I just paid my ticket to becoming a multimillionaire, because every single person who's become a multimillionaire at some point failed miserably, and at some point had their back against the wall. And that is where you are now. You literally have your back against the wall. And you now have the ability to rephrase that and go, I just paid my ticket into the next level. You just paid your ticket into the next level of entrepreneurship, of business. So congratulations. How does it feel? You've just made it to the next level. So Tato says, I know, bro, I'm on the journey and this part of the journey, but it's so hard. It's your perspective that makes it hard. Like, it doesn't have to be that hard. If I was you, and you're going to message me 12 months from now and tell me this is exactly the advice that changed your life, is that you have to rephrase how you see things. The moment you say this is so hard, that is the thoughts and the energy that you are producing. So essentially, what's happening is you're just going to make shit harder for yourself, because that is the energetic field that you have all around you. And that is how reality starts to show up in your life as well, because reality, my friend, is holographic. It reacts to your energy. There is literally a direct correlation between the energy you put out and the reality that you experience days later. You know, when Jesus said he died and then he woke up after 3 days, in essence, I want to believe that there's the resemblance of energy and what happens 3 days later. So you could be in hell, you could be in the worst case scenario of your life right now, which is dying, which is the resemblance of Jesus dying. And by changing your energy, within 3 days, your life can change, because that is how long it takes for the energy to actually move shit into matter so as you can perceive it in this physical reality that you're experiencing. So 3 days, that's all it's take. 3 days, it's all it takes. Is when you change your mind, when you change your energy, and you start to write down in a journal every single morning at 5 o'clock, because that's when your mind is in theta state. When your mind is in theta state, it means your subconscious is receptive to what you're thinking. When your subconscious is receptive to what you're thinking, that is when your energy starts to change dramatically, because it's your subconscious that dictates your energetic field most of the time. So when you wake up in the morning and when you go to bed at night, that hour after you've woken up and that hour before you go to bed, that's literally when your mind is most receptive to sending information to your subconscious mind, which then completely changes your energetic field, which can completely change how reality shows up the next day and the day thereafter. So take this advice super seriously, right? Find yourself a piece of paper or a journal or whatever you want, and wake up in the morning and say all the shit that you want to experience. I am paying back my debt easily. I can't believe that it's actually not that hard to get out of debt. I can't believe that my business is actually profitable. I can't believe that I actually have more money in my bank than I've ever had before. And trust you me now, this sounds so stupid, but you have to feel it. You have to feel it like it's absolutely true. You have to be able to feel it and envision it. The moment you do, your energetic field starts to change. But if you don't believe it, that's what Jesus meant with faith. That is what the whole Bible speaks about faith. Faith is the glue. Faith is the glue that brings everything together. Faith is what your reality starts to mimic. So if you believe it's hard, the universe will mimic that. If you believe things are easy, the universe will mimic that. That is why Jesus said, with the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. What he meant was, the moment you believe something with your whole heart, you can achieve it. No matter how big it is, even if it is as big as a mountain. If your faith can help you believe that you can overcome this mountain, that mountain, my friend, will change. It will move, and you will get over it. 1000%. I am a testament of it. I had my back against the wall in 2020. And thanks to mushrooms, I was able to think differently. Because I took the religious scriptures way too seriously and I was way too logical about it. But then I realized it was all analogies of helping us understand what this reality actually is. Funeral next door. What is the minimum MRR for V8 Media to work with your brand? So we would love your business to do anything between, I'd say, 100 to 200,000 Rand a month. Because hopefully with healthy profit margins, you'll be in a position to actually afford those services, and it doesn't come at a massive risk to you or to us in order to actually, experiment with certain things that can help you grow the business. So I hope that helps. Jandre, you have got any advice for a 24-year-old in his career and studies? I've got lots of advice, my friend. I think just depends on what the actual question is, because the word "do you have any advice" is very vague. So let me tell you what I think about someone who's 24 is that you're exceptionally young. You can take all the risks in the world for 10 years straight, And if none of those things pan out, you still have enough time to do something amazing. So as a 24-year-old, I would encourage you to 100% just back yourself, do what you feel like doing, follow your passion, find out how your passion could potentially be monetized, learn the skills that can help you monetize those passions. So you'll find that some people would say, I have a passion for art. Okay, great. Follow the passion, but also learn the skill on how to sell that passion. See, most people think that your passion will just make you money. And that is partly true. But let me tell you why it's not completely true. Because if you don't know how to sell that passion, then essentially you will never make the money that you need to make in order to cover the bills. So just by being a good artist, it's not that in itself that will make you a ton of money. It is the ability to sell your art that will make you a ton of money. It's the ability to sell your passion. I'm passionate about business and marketing, but I also have a skill that knows how to sell the skills that I have. So not only do I have a skill that people want to pay for, I also have the skill of marketing that specific skill that people want to pay for. And that is what I believe a lot of people misconstrue when it says follow your passion. Follow your passion, yes, but also learn the ability, learn the skill on how to sell that passion, or to find someone who can help you sell that passion. Because without the actual selling part, you're not going to make the money you want in order to cover the bills that you need to cover. Muhammad, is it worth going to university if I already have a business at 18 and looking to scale? Dude, it's only worth going to university if you truly want to be a surgeon or an accountant or a lawyer or something that actually requires a piece of paper in order to do that skill or do that thing legally, okay? So you don't need you don't need a certificate to start a business. So you don't have to study business in order to start a business. You don't have to go to university. You don't have to learn, an MBA or study an MBA. You don't have to learn economics in order to do that thing. If you want to be a personal trainer, yes, you're going to have to go study in order to qualify as a personal trainer so that you can actually personal train legally. If you want to be a lawyer, you're going to have to study to become a lawyer so that you can be a lawyer legally. But if your passion is business, then you don't need to go to school or university to teach you how to run a business. In fact, the best way to build a business is to actually just freaking build it. It's not to study it. So if you're 18 years old, I would encourage you to execute as much as possible, to learn as much as possible. These are the two traits that's going to make you a successful entrepreneur. Muhammad, if you're listening, you need a very exceptional high rate of learning, which means you have the ability to learn more than the average person in 24 hours. Okay, so if your day was Monday morning and you went to bed at Monday evening, the amount of shit that you've learned in that time period will be more than the average person. Okay, so you need the appetite to learn first, and you need the ability to process that information and understand it. That is the ability to learn. That is a learn rate. Meaning, if I had to share an 8-video course with you, how much of that will you remember? How much of that will you understand? And how much of that will you actually be able to execute on? That high rate of learning will be the biggest leverage that you have in your life at the age of 18. Then the second part of that, the flip side to the coin of that, is how quickly can you actually execute after learning the certain skill? All right, so how quickly can you turn what you've learned into an actual action, into the necessary steps that you have to execute in order to continue building what you want to build? And the quicker you learn, the quicker you can implement, the quicker you implement, the quicker you can make mistakes, the quicker you make mistakes, the quicker you can fix it and learn again in order to get better. So if you're at the age of 18, I would highly encourage you to learn as much as possible, to do as much as possible, because when you are at the age of 25, you would have the same amount of value that someone who studied, 2 different MBAs for. I mean, all MBAs are technically MBAs, but depends on where you study and how you look at it. But my point is, the person who went to business school and did an MBA, not only will you have all that knowledge just by building the business, but you'll actually be so much further along in learning and understanding the little nuances of a business that you don't learn in an MBA. So True, says Tatu. My dad had an MBA for UCT, but was horrible in the business and was unprofitable forever. Rest in peace to him. Shame, man. 100%. Damien says, I'm 21 years old, digital marketing specialist, studying a BBA in marketing management. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. If that's what excites you, go do it. But what I'm saying is you don't need to do all of that to be successful. I have no marketing degrees. I have no marketing certification. Literally nothing. I ran my first Facebook ad in 2011. Why am I good at digital marketing? Why am I good at building businesses? And I'd like to not be arrogant about it, but like I think we have a good understanding of how to build a nice business and the skills needed in order to execute on it as well. It's because we've been doing it for so long. I've been doing it since I was 21. I've been doing it for 16 years. So experience is really the most valuable thing. And experience only happens when you take action. It doesn't happen when you read a book. Experience does not come from a book. A book tells you what to do so you can gain experience. Doing the thing is what gives you experience. Jonathan276 says, hey, Andre, hope you're well. I'm 19 and struggling to find direction. I have no money and my parents are really wanting me to start something. Do you have any advice? Bro, 3 skills can change your life. All you have to do is pay attention for the next 2-3 minutes and then execute on the back of that for 4 weekends in a row. Okay? In 4 weekends, you can change your whole life. Let me tell you what I would do. There are 3 skills that can make you exceptionally powerful in this life. Learning sales, learning marketing, learning AI. Those are the 3 skills that has the potential to make you exceptionally valuable in the marketplace so that you can either get hired by someone or the 3 skills needed to help you build something really, really cool. And all it takes is 1 weekend for 10 hours on a Saturday, 10 hours on a Sunday, 20 hours on a weekend. On weekend 1, I would learn as much as I can about neuromarketing. Okay? What is neuromarketing? It's basically the ability to construct sentences and visuals in a way so that the person who is looking at those words and images, so that their brain can understand the value of the thing that you're trying to sell and would react and light up in a specific way, if you had to put it under an MRI scan, so that they'd actually want to buy it. So neuromarketing is really the ability to tap into the brain and get it to understand and almost like appreciate what you're trying to sell. It's almost like, this is something I really need, I want to buy it. That ability is very powerful. So neuromarketing is something that I'll definitely look into. The second thing is learning just how to sell stuff with digital marketing. So I would learn the necessary understanding of meta ads, the necessary understanding of TikTok ads, and learning how to create content on these platforms organically and through paid mechanisms that can essentially drive traffic to the specific destination where you either capture leads or sell stuff. Okay? And then the third weekend, I would learn stuff like AI and just get an understanding of AI. And the fourth weekend, I'll just read or listen to, some Alex Hormozi's books. So you can literally listen to both his, he's got 3 books, but you can listen to 2 of them, which is the most important, is $100 million offers, $100 million leads. And I think, or you can listen to Sabri Subi or read his book, which is Sell Like Crazy. There's so many books that you can obviously start with, but I think one of those 2 will give you a deeper perspective on what to do next once you've got a skill. Because the first thing you need to do is actually learn a skill. It doesn't take that long to learn the basics on how to add value in a marketplace. It doesn't take hundreds of hours to learn a skill that's valuable enough for someone to pay for, okay? All it takes is 20 to 40 hours, meaning 2 weekends. 10 hours on a Sunday, 10 hours on a Saturday, 10 hours on a Sunday, do that 2 weekends in a row, and you will have a skill that you could potentially monetize. But then the question is, how do you monetize it? And that's where these books actually come in handy. They'll teach you the basics of how to build a little landing page, how to run some ads, how to create some content that can actually help you convert that into paying customers that would want to pay for the skill that you have. So for you, Jonathan, the best thing that you can do is put 4 weekends aside, 10 hours on a Saturday, 10 hours on a Sunday, 80 hours, no interruptions, just studying those 4 things. And if you do that, I think you'll be in a very different spot 12 months from now. So true, learn from the mistakes. Mistakes will be the better teacher. Mistakes are the best teacher, 100%. I really agree with that. Ibrahim, the benefits last 4 weeks. Let's see what else we've got here. Ross, if you had to restart now and choose a skill that's not marketing, what would it be? AI, my friend. Such an easy question, Ross Barrett. I would 100%, which we have done already, but if I didn't do it and I didn't have digital marketing skills, I would 100% go balls deep into learning and understanding AI with the understanding of how to use those skills in order to add value to businesses. How or what trade site or platforms would you recommend? I don't do trading. I don't recommend it unless you want to be a full-time trader. It's not something you can do as a passion project. However, platforms like SM Trading, XM is probably quite a very reputable one. Yeah, I think if you want to be a full-time trader, first go to a college that teaches you how to trade properly. So go to like Stock Market College or something. And then Stock Market College will teach you how to look at the actual trades, how to do them appropriately, understanding the technical analysis, fundamental analysis, how to necessarily look at the necessary charts in order to understand what is most likely going to happen next and how to, position yourself for an up or a down. But I wouldn't necessarily trade without the skill. So first you have to learn the skill. And then the platform, any platform, I think there's a bunch of them, but I think XM has a South African leg, and it looks like quite a reputable platform, yeah. All right, let's see what we've got on TikTok here. Before all of this, I did social media theme pages from age 16 to 18 built over. Well, that's it, bro. That skill, Damien, is a very, very valuable skill. I would love to connect with you. Please send me a message. Please email me. Those skills that you have, it's 100% the skills that companies will pay for. And it's 100% the skill that I'd pay for. So if you want to get paid for that skill by someone like me, reach out to me on LinkedIn, on Instagram or TikTok, send me a message, pop me an email. I would like to chat to you. Is it better to bootstrap my earnings and grow from that or sacrifice some equity to get funded? Depends. It depends. Depends on your appetite. I would say never dilute your business too quickly, Mohammed. There's so many people who've diluted very quickly early on in the journey, and when they exited, then they didn't get as much money as they wanted. However, the business was massive. So there's an example of someone in my network who has built a 150 million rand business, but he diluted very quickly, and at the end of the day, he only left with a small amount of that 120 million. But you sacrificed 3 years of your life to build that, 4 or 5 years of your life to build that. So, and then some people take much longer. They took a lifetime to build that. So it depends. It depends. If you, like, in my mind, like, we are setting up a new opportunity, and funny enough, we're happy to dilute because it's not the only thing that we do. So there's all these things that you need to consider for yourself. I think it's if your first business and your only business, and it's something that you really see yourself building for the next 5 to 10 years, then 100% see if you can do it yourself and learn the mechanics of the business, learn as much as possible on how to sell so that you can find new customers, then learn how to keep those customers. And again, $100 million offers book, $100 million leads book, Sell Like Crazy. Those books are great at teaching you how to market the business to get new customers and how to keep them. Then there's a book called Never Lose a Customer Again, which is a great book that teaches you how to keep people happy so they come back every single month, because those are the 2 skills you need. You need the skill on how to get customers. You need the skill on how to retain them. And when you can get that right, you have a great business. So that said, learn as much as you can in order to give it a shot yourself first. and then dilute. Because also, if the business is worth nothing, someone's going to say, listen, I'll give you 100,000 Rand for 50% of the company. Now, tomorrow, you need another 200,000 Rand, and now your 50% becomes 25% or 30%. So if you can get the business to at least a higher multiple or higher valuation, then people have to give you more money for less equity because the business is more valuable. Does that make sense? So if the business is valued at nothing, someone's going to say, I want 50% of the company to put in 500,000 Rand. You're going to say yes, but now you've already given away 50% of your company. And after that 500,000 Rand's gone, that person sits with 50% and you sit with 50%. So I'd rather want to build a business that's worth, let's say, something as opposed to nothing, so that I have something to actually leverage against. So if I can build a business that's worth, let's say, 1 million Rand, then all you have to do is make 30K a month profit for 12 months straight. At a 4x multiple or a 3x multiple, your business is technically worth already 1 million Rand. Now, if someone wanted to buy 10% of your business, they have to give you 100,000 Rand. If they want to buy 20% of the business, they're going to have to give you 200,000 Rand. If you can get the business to 2 million Rand valuation, someone has to give you 200,000 Rand for 10%. They have to give you 1 million Rand for 50%. So what I'm saying is it's positive, ROI positive, to try and figure out the skills that can help you build this business, because those skills will serve you in the future. But outside of that, I think because you're increasing the valuation of the company, you can get a lot more capital from an investor by then offsetting less percentage equity for yourself as well. How is website selling in SA? Because I saw on Google Maps that many local businesses don't have websites. Bro, it's an untapped market with AI, Lovable, Bolt.new. You can build websites with one prompt. And essentially, you can literally build an AI agent task force that can find Google Maps businesses, look at their websites, confirm that they don't have a good website or not a website at all. Potentially, if they don't have a link in their maps, their Google My Business profile, they can then go and build a website for them based on what they think they do, or what, based the name of the company and some information on it on the Google My Business or their Facebook page or whatever it may be. If they already have a website, you can just build a better one with AI. You can then email them and say, hey, I built you this website. Would you like to give me 5 grand or 10 grand for it? And, I believe that 1 out of 20 people might say yes. So then it's just a matter of contacting 100 people. Then you most likely have 5 sales. And if you sell it for 5 grand, that's 25K. So, yeah, I think that's a massive opportunity, as long as you implement AI in order to make it faster and more efficient for yourself. Ross Barrett, when you mentioned AI as a skill to learn, what would you try specialize in exactly? I feel like it's extremely broad. Yeah, so I would learn how to build systems that businesses can actually benefit from, okay? So what are the core things that businesses want? I'd ask myself, what is the shit that businesses can't live without, okay? Businesses can't live without leads. So how can you learn AI skills that helps you find leads and reaches out to those leads and convert those leads? We've built a system where we have an agent looking for Google Maps businesses in the UK. We have another agent that after that looks at their website and what it does. It crawls their whole website. After that, it literally finds emails that is associated with that business. After that, it writes a customized, personalized message. What's happening here? My live just almost left out. After that, it will write a personalized message and send it to them. And after that, it will follow up if they didn't reply. So in essence, we've built a whole agent team, an agentic AI team that does all that outreach automatically. And that is a skill that you can actually sell to a business. We can literally go and say, hey, do you want to automate your outreach the way we did and close businesses or get interests from businesses or generate leads from businesses basically on autopilot? If yes, this is what it's going to cost you to build. And we'll build a custom solution for you. We can easily charge 20, 30, 40, 50K for that, depending on the business you're selling it to. So that is just an example, right? So the question is, if you're going to learn AI skills, first figure out what do companies need? What do they need that can be streamlined or improved with AI? And then find something that excites you and go and learn the skill that can actually help you do that. Does that make sense? Let's see what we've got going on here. better. Would like to continue building my side hustles, but I do feel lost. Don't feel lost, my friend. We all feel lost in some point. That's life. Can I get a hug? 100%. Always keen on hugs. Cinnamon Girl, I think it's about starting a remote cleaning business that after a while is automated with AI. Any advice? So we have a cleaning business. We have a company called Plush Cleaning, and it's a remote business. Very cool. And when I say remote, I mean we go out. It's a mobile business. So we generate leads and we go out to those houses. We do carpet cleaning, mattresses, curtains, etc. And yeah, great business. I think it's not difficult to market. And if you're good at content creation, you should be able to get some leads. Let me just go back here. I'm a fan. I'm an IT student who has developed a skill in 3D modeling and with understanding of marketing. That's good. Amazing. Good skill. I mean, AI can do that probably now as well, the 3D modeling part of it. So I would ask myself, how can I implement AI with the skill that I've built in order to do it more effectively for businesses? Because AI can just amplify that, right? What do you think converts better, Meta ads or Google ads? So it all depends on the type of product that you're selling and who you're selling it to. So if you're looking to sell to people where the problem is not very commonly known, then there's a good chance if they don't know the problem exists that they're probably not Googling for it, okay? They're not searching for it because they don't know that the problem exists. So if the problem exists and people are looking to actively solve that problem, they'll be searching for it on Google. So the question is, what are you selling? And is that thing that you're selling solving an actual problem that people know they have? If they do know they have it and they're actively searching for it on Google, which you can actually just do with some Google research, then yes, by all means, target them on Google because that'll make sense and it will convert better because they're actually searching for that solution. The question then is, how are you separating your solution from competitors so that they look at your solution and go, this is a no-brainer. This makes so much more sense than going with a competitor. If it's a problem or a solution that they don't know that they have, or they're not fully aware on the fact that this is something that they can actually solve quite easily, then Facebook will most likely convert better. Facebook will do better in that case. So it all depends on the actual product or service that you're selling and who you're selling it to and how they are, where they are in the process of understanding the problem and the solution, essentially. But ideally, if you have got budget for both, always do both. If you've got budget for both, always do both. That's just my 2 cents. Will says, I'm 17, but I honestly think I have a better understanding of marketing, sales, and AI. Was cut off there. Sorry, I'm not sure what the rest of that sentence was. Studies show 30% of TikTok viewers are on the toilet. That's great. Well, 30% of these people then are on the toilet. And if you're making a quick poo or just a little quick relief in some way, shape, or form, then I'm happy to see you through the moment. Happy to make it a little bit more convenient for you. Let's see what else we've got here. Approaching a business to offer them a solution on a process sounds great on paper, but how do you convince companies, especially in SA landscape? You convince them by positioning it in a way where they kind of like be stupid to saying no to the solution. So the question is, how can you position it? Like, this is where psychology comes in. And that's why I always say neuromarketing is one of the biggest skills that you can learn, because if you knew and understood neuromarketing, then you wouldn't be asking that question. Neuromarketing is, how do you position something that someone would want to say yes? That's the basics of neuromarketing. So all it is like, do you have this massive problem in your business? Does it take you forever to get to leads? Would you ideally want more leads? Would you ideally want to grow your business at X percentage per month? Would you ideally want to have a system that follows up with your leads much quicker than your traditional staff member right now? You list literally all the pain points that they might be experiencing. You list all the benefits on what would happen if they implemented that tool. You should back it up with proof and case studies and testimonials of some sort, of way, shape, or form. And then you tell them what it's going to cost them. And you should have a higher probability of getting a yes. The problem is people go, hey, can I automate your outreach for you? And they go, what the hell does that mean? You say, well, I'm going to build an email system that gets leads. They go, I don't want to email people for leads. You're gonna, no, that's not what I meant. I meant like, it'll be, you're gonna be sending like 100 emails a day automatically. It's like, no, but I don't want to do that. You've completely positioned it incorrectly. How you position that correctly is saying, hey, are you struggling to find new customers right now? They go, yes. Okay, cool. Is it safe to assume that you're not doing much to get customers right now, and that is why you're struggling? Yes. Okay, great. So this tool that we have will, on average, generate you 5 to 10 leads a day. And at a 20% conversion rate from qualified lead to, quote, there's a good chance you can convert 20% of these leads. So if you have 10 leads, there's a good chance that you can close 2 deals. So for every 2 days, you'll most likely have 1 new deal. So if that's 21 days, working days a week, that means at 20%, you would have literally a deal every second day. So you could have 10 deals. So if you on average had 10 new deals a month, what would that mean to your business? Now you're creating the picture. You see what's happening now? You're creating a picture in their mind on how the system can actually change their business and their life. So many people focus on the features. Hey, I can help you send 1,000 emails a day to people who might be interested in working with you. They're like, wow, great. What does that mean? But when you say, listen, it's clear that your business is not growing because you're not finding new customers. You're not finding new customers because you're not finding new leads. I have a system that can give you 10 leads a day. And if you convert 20% of them, which is the average norm for your industry, hypothetically speaking, you can convert 2 new deals a day. And out of 21 days, that becomes 42 deals. Now, that is just a hypothetical explanation, but that is how you position it. Business owners want to grow their business. So business owners either want to grow their business or they want to keep the existing customers happy. So they either want to find new customers or they want to bring the existing customers back. Those are the 2 things they want. And those are the 2 things they need. So sell them on how it ties back to those 2 things and how it actually helps them grow the business. Sell them on how it actually makes them more money. And then show them proof on how it does that. And you'll most likely see a higher conversion rate in your sales pitches. I would like to continue building my side hustle, but I feel lost. Like I said, we all feel lost in some way, shape, or form. Just keep going, push through, get clarity on what you actually want to do with your life and put the intention out there. In the meantime, I'd say don't put too much stress on an emphasis on the results in terms of money. Put emphasis on the skills that you're learning, okay? Put emphasis on the skills that you're learning. That's what you should be doing. Place emphasis on the skills. Learn the skills. It will pay dividends in the future. What do you think about automated businesses? I think there are very few 100% automated businesses, but the idea is how can you take a business and automate it to the best of its potential? And that's how you will be able to build a lean business with higher profit margins because there's less expenses. Let's see what else we've got here. Hey, Jandre, sorry, lost connection. Did you perhaps respond to my comments? Damien, I think I did. Hope you saw the answer or hope you heard it. How much yearly revenue must you do to be able to sell the business? It's not so much about revenue. It's more about profit. For most South African investors, they want to know how much profit are you making on a monthly basis. And how you value a business, you take your monthly profit, okay, and you times it by 12, and then you assign a multiple to it. So if your business profit is 30K a month, after 12 months, it's 360K. If your business is high risk, it'll have a 1x multiple, which means, and a multiple is basically, a way to think about it is, if an investor had to invest in your business, how long will it take them to get their money back? The money that they've invested, how long will it take them to get back? Okay. So if you say my business has a 4x multiple, it means that whatever money you invest, you'll get back after 4 years. So if you've built a business that's worth 30K a month in profit, that becomes 360K a year. Now, 360K a year times, let's say, a 3x multiple is 1,080,000 Rand. So if the business is worth 1.1 million Rand, hypothetically speaking, and someone wanted to buy 50% of your business, it means that they're going to have to put in 550,000 Rand in exchange for their 50% share. And because you've assigned a 3x multiple, it means if the business continues growing at this pace, you will get that investment back in 3 years or less. So that is how investors look at multiples. So they take the profit, per annum, they assign a multiple to it. And the lower the multiple means what are the likelihood of the business continue making this profit? So if the profit you're making is 30,000 Rand a month, but you are the person responsible for everything in the business and you had to get sick tomorrow, then it means that if you're sick tomorrow, you're not going to make that profit. So I'm only going to give you a 1x multiple because there's a lot of risk in this business. And the risk is that you are the one that does everything. But if you had a team running around, whether you're on leave, whether you're on holiday, whether you're sick or not, and you had systems and processes that ran like clockwork all by itself without you having to be overly involved, and if you were in a growing industry, and if you had a unique selling point in your business that competitors just couldn't copy easily overnight, then I'd be like, the probability of us making the same amount of profit or more is quite high. So therefore, I would assign a higher multiple. That multiple now would be 3x or maybe 4x. So if your business was doing 360 a year, and as opposed to a 3x multiple, I gave it a 4x multiple, your value would go from 1.1 to 1.45 roughly per, for the valuation of the business. So you would have made an extra 300, 400, 500K, 300 odd K extra in the valuation. So essentially, a business valuation is directly tied most of the time to the profits and the risk of the business. So profits per month times 12, and essentially the amount of risk that's in the business. Now, yes, a lot of companies or some companies get revenue multiples, but that is usually in the FMCG space or tech space. It's very seldom, not even in the FMCG space as much, to be honest. I would just focus on what is the profit, and that's how we value businesses. We look at the profit, we assign a risk multiple to it, and then we value the business. I noticed you work with Spock schools. How would you scale a traditional school? Yeah, so we've worked with them for quite some time, actually. Traditional school needs moms and dads to inquire, because it's not the kid it's not the 8-year-old kid that sits on TikTok and go, I want to go to the school. It's the mom and dad that sees a good school, and then they want to inquire to learn more about the costs involved. So the question is, what can you show about the school that is going to convince the mom and dad that it's worth inquiring or it's worth putting their son or daughter in that school? So what is the things that mom and dad would like to see in a school that makes them feel that this is the best place for their kid to be in? That's the first question I'd ask myself. Then the next question is, how can you create different pieces of content, different types of ads that can address all those certain questions? And then you run ads on Meta or TikTok in order to drive awareness under the mom and the dad who might be interested in a school like that. And you drive them to a landing page where they can inquire about the specific school fees of the school. And then it's up to you to jump on a call with them or to see them in person or to show them the school so they would ideally, you want to come and check it out. So it's quite simple. Like for Spark Schools, what we did is we would take the school address and target mom and dads literally within a 15-kilometer radius, like 10 to 15-kilometer radius. And we would just tell them all the unique selling points of the school. So we would create various static ads, various video ads, explaining all the value and all the different unique selling points and all the things that make the school amazing. And we would then drive them to a landing page where they can inquire, or we would just do lead forms where they just leave their details on Facebook and you can contact them. That's literally how I would do it. It's that simple. You can build an AI tool to do searching for you, and all you need is one tool and one person. Yeah, 100%. What makes you different from competition? Because that sounds generic and the AI market is overly. What makes you different from the competition? Bro, I don't care, to be honest. Like, nothing makes us different. I think we just care about people. I don't even know what my competitors are doing. So we're not selling AI stuff right now. So we have a free course. I think there's a paid course that's 2.5 grand, so it's not a lot. So if you ask me what we're doing differently, then to be honest, I almost don't really, that's not a focus for us. So I think that we just have I haven't really seen a team that's so dedicated to staying on the forefront of AI. The guy's name is Yuan, and every single day he spends 18 hours a day on AI. and his goal is to share that with the community. And I think very few people are that invested, and very few people are that committed, and very few people are that passionate about the space. So if you wanted to be in a community where the people are obsessing about something and they're actually building real businesses on the back of it, then the AI University is a place to be. But yeah, at the same time, there's not much going on there. I think it's a free course and then there's one paid course. But it's very early stages and there's a lot more coming down the line. There's a lot more coming down the line. What do you do? We own a group of companies and we invest in businesses. And I just love sharing knowledge. That's what I do. Richie, hope you're well. Do you have any positions available? We always have positions available. So you can go on to v8media.co.za and just inquire and see what positions we have available. But if you're good at short form content creation and you understand organic content and how to get views and followers, then you can just email me directly and I would be more than happy to look at including you in my personal team. Damien, that's for you if you're open to it. Would you recommend using these new AI platforms to build a website? I'm specifically asking about SEO and longevity perspective. Yeah, 100%, Peru. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You can use bolt.new, Lovable. They can actually help you do the SEO, probably a little bit better than most of the SEO that you can do on technically heavy websites like WordPress. Like if you had to go into WordPress, it would be very hard to do the SEO yourself, where with Lovable and bolt.new, you can just tell the AI what kind of SEO you would want to do. So 100%. What demand for AI chatbot automation for local businesses? What if I offer websites for businesses and ask recurring payments and offer them services such as chatbot automation? Man, to be honest, with websites, there's not much of a recurring revenue when it comes to websites. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying it's very seldom that someone would pay a hefty fee every month, even a small fee every month. I can't see people paying more than 500 to 1,000 Rand a month in order for you to maintain their website, because how many changes are they really going to make? So I would rather just build a website once off and find another thing that I can sell them monthly on. So the chatbot automation is fine, but when you have a new website, they need traffic in order for the chatbot to actually add value. So not sure if that's really the best thing to upsell them, because you can sell them, hey, there's a chatbot, but how much traffic are they actually going to drive to the website? But if you're certain they're going to drive a ton of traffic to it, or they're going to do some marketing for it, then yes, by all means, maybe offer them that is a solution. But I'm wondering if there's a better thing that you can do. I'd rather say, listen, I'd build you this website and hand it over, and I would act as a consultant at a specific retainer. Like I'd charge you 2,000 Rand a month, and you have access to me, and I'm happy to help with anything you want at any point in time. And if that includes making changes, then so be it. I'm happy to act as a marketing consultant or as a consultant in the business. Or you can't even sell hosting packages unless you know how to set that up. So most people charge hosting packages, but you might not have the technical skills to set that up. I'm wondering if you can do a website for someone and potentially build a CRM for them. So if you're building a website for someone who needs leads, is there not value in charging them per month for a CRM tool? Because if you're going to need leads, if you're going to generate leads, you're going to need a system to manage those leads. Like a chatbot in itself, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but you're going to have to drive a ton of traffic. Where if you're generating leads, where are they storing those leads? Where are they seeing if those leads have been phoned or contacted or not? Where do they go to see when is the last time someone contacted that lead? Where do they go to see what that lead said the last time they contacted it? Where do they go to see where that lead is in the pipeline of converting into a customer? So most likely I would sell them on the software that helps them manage the reason they are building their website in the first place. Does that make sense? So they're coming to you to build a website for what? They obviously want to do something. They want to generate leads for this type of product or service. Okay, cool. If you want to generate leads for that product or service, how can I build something that I can obviously help you set up, and you just pay me a monthly fee for that software? And that software, people pay $99 a month for certain CRMs. So if you can build something that's easy for them to manage, you can charge $49 to $99 quite easily a month, and they actually have something that they use on a daily basis that's valuable to them. That is not hard for you to manage. How do you handle your bookings for the cleaning company? We have people phone them, we have people message them, and we then get quote requests. We then send them the quote. We follow up. We follow up a few times, and then we just slot it into a calendar when they pay. Thank you, but how do you actually set up a meeting for a pitch? Dude, you phone them and you ask them, hey, I would love to show you how this works. Would you love to see it? And they go, yes, I would like to see it. Cool. Well, let's jump on a call so I can show you. I will share my screen and show you exactly how it works. Now they have to jump on a call. Ross Barrett, like, I feel like a lot of your questions can literally just be asked with ChatGPT, but in theory, it's as simple as just positioning the call as a no-brainer. So if someone would want digital marketing services, I'll tell them, hey, we have a specific way of marketing companies that has got a high probability of getting you the success that you want. However, I need to show you how it works. Now that I have to show you how it works, would you like to see how it works? Yes, I would. Okay, cool. And in order to show you how it works, we're going to have to jump on a call. I'm going to have to share my screen. Is that okay? Yeah, sweet. Cool. Well, I'll send you a link for the call. Does that make sense, Ross, if you're still on the live? Ross Barrett, what made Loot and Skin Stem stand out specifically to you? What is the brand image, founders? So, dude, I think it's the founders. So Glute specifically, it was the founder. Like, I knew that he understood the industry. I knew that he understood how to position the brand and the product. I knew that he already had the connections into certain retail stores. And for us, the risk was minimal because the probability of success was high because of all those reasons. And if we had to activate the marketing on the back of all his strengths, then there's a good chance of it being a success. And that's exactly what happened. So the founders are really the key. Investors don't back ideas. Investors back founders. That's one thing everybody should take away from this call, if you're still on this call or on this live, is that essentially founders, investors, we back good founders. We don't want to back good ideas. Good ideas are important, but without a founder to execute on it, it's not going to happen. So who's the founder? How successful have they been in the past? What is their understanding of the industry? What skills do they have in order to navigate this to the success that we believe it could be? And what team have they built around them in order to achieve it as well? So the founder and the team is the most important part, and that's essentially what you invest in. The product and the solution that in the market is really secondary to that. Like, you can have the most amazing business, the most amazing products, the most amazing solution in the market, but if the founders are terrible, the team is terrible, it's not going to go anywhere. It's just how it is. I miss online business space, man. This is so 2020. Yeah, 2020 was cool, man. Are your skills worth South African businesses? Are your skills worth South African businesses, or would you rather build your own businesses? Are your skills worth South African businesses, or would you rather build your own businesses? Dude, I think if you have skills, then you can sell that to other businesses, and you build your own business by selling skills to them. Am I misunderstanding what you're trying to say, Sandile? If you have a skill and that skill is valuable to other businesses, you build your own business by selling the skill to them. However, with V8, I kind of understand what you're saying. We have a marketing agency, but we also built our own businesses on the back of those marketing skills. So V8 Capital is the business we've built that invests in other businesses, and then we use our marketing skills to grow those businesses. So yes, we do both. We offer our skills to the marketplace, and we use those skills to build our own businesses. How do you feel about subscription businesses in South Africa? Listen, any subscription business, if you can get it right, is amazing because it's recurring revenue. Every business owner wants recurring revenue. Every investor that invests in a business would ideally want recurring revenue too. Because the last thing you want is to start from zero every single month. Starting from zero every single month sucks. It's hard. It's not ideal. You want to offset the risk of your business by having more recurring revenue every single month, which means you have more people coming back. And a subscription business is the best way to do that. Does that make sense? All right. Got some questions here from YouTube. I have good ideas for business, but I don't want to risk anything. I know you have a fail, but I don't know what to do. Bro, ideas mean nothing. Okay, Zach. So I hope to get through to you today. I hope you're still on this live, but I don't want to offend you. But ideas mean nothing without proper execution. You have to execute. Ideas are not going to do anything for you. All right, you have to execute. So get off your ass and do something about it. Kahil says, hey, Andre, currently supplying an upmarket cake shop with baked goods in my spare time. Turnover is roughly 30K a month, full-time employed too, but want to venture into online orders. Besides creating content, taking photos, etc. What, in your opinion, is the best, easier social media app for that? Do I really need a website? So app for what? Full-time employer, spare time turnover. So currently supplying an upmarket cake shop with baked goods. So when you say baked, oh, so you bake the stuff and then you give it to them to sell? And then you're saying, besides creating content, taking photos, what, in your opinion, is the best, easiest social media app for that? To do the content? Are you asking, like, what is the best tools available that can actually help you create the content for your business? If that's what you're asking, Hicksfield, bro. Hicksfield. Just try Hicksfield.ai. Can help you generate photos, videos, anything you want. And Canva. So just use a mix between Canva and Hicksfield if it comes to creating content, period. I don't think you need anything else. I can find businesses you can buy that are profitable. Do you offer finance? We do, actually. Finder's fee vary, but yes, 100%, Sebo. If you want to give us businesses that are profitable, that would fit our mission and vision, which is direct-to-consumer businesses, high margin, good industries, ready to be disrupted by the brand, and amazing founders, then 100% we would love to look at it. And we have founders fees. Letzler, hey, what do you think about UGC and building a platform where businesses can run centralized content? You mean like a UGC marketplace? Like where people can find creators? I think there's so much of them out there and it's going to get saturated. If you want to build it, you're going to have to be very aggressive, very unique. And I'm not a big fan of marketplaces. Like, they usually require a lot of patience and a lot of capital. And you need to find the benefit for the. It's hard to get creators to stick to these platforms, and it's hard to. I don't know. It just seems like a hard business, to be honest. I think it's a cool idea, but it requires a high level of focus, a high level of patience in order to build it correctly. So if you've got no experience in building a marketplace, I would suggest that you don't do it. That's the thing. It's like, that's what you're saying. I'm building one, but it's difficult. Yeah, we have funding at least. So putting the idea together is easy, right? But getting the businesses on the platform, it's a chicken and an egg scenario. You're going to need the creators. The creators are not going to join if the businesses are not there. And the businesses are not going to join if the creators are not there. So how do you get either or interested without the other? So you have to do both. You need a marketing campaign for businesses. You need a marketing campaign for the UGC guys. And that requires a lot of money per month. So you need a marketing campaign for this one. You need a marketing campaign for that one. And essentially, both of those are going to cost you, let's say, minimum 20, 30,000 Rand a month in ads. And now you're only taking a finder's fee. You're only taking a small percentage of the fee. So if they pay them 10,000 Rand, you're only going to take 2.5%, which is like literally 250 bucks, or maybe 10%, which is $1,000. So the amount of money that you have to invest, it's a compounding model. It makes sense over 5 years, not short term. So if you have limited cash and you don't have people to raise money from, and you've never built this in your life before, I'd say, sure, that's hard. I would rather try and pick something else. Or I'd rather do it in a different way. I'd rather start a UGC agency where people can come to you, they pay you 10,000 Rand for the content, and you then, license that out to the UGC creators. Say, listen, I'll give you 1,000 Rand, 2,000 Rand for the videos. So you charge the business 10K, you charge the creators 1,000K, 5 different creators 1,000 Rand each, and you make 5K profit. So that's almost like how I would do it, is I would use it as a tool for an agency as opposed to having a marketplace. Yeah, so you're saying, well, I'm not a beginner in business. That doesn't matter. If you start a new industry, you are brand new to that industry. So yes, you might understand how to build a business, and I don't want to offend you by any means. I mean this with love. It's like I've learned this the hard way. I only enter industries that I understand, and the only industries I understand is marketing and sales. So if I buy into an industry, I already know we have the resources and the talent and the know-how on how to market that product. I don't go into industries where I have to figure out how to market the product. I stick to my skills. So you can say your skills building businesses, but to build a hospital as a business, or to build a marketplace as a business, or to build a cleaning business are completely two separate things. They're completely different businesses. And you're going to have to spend years getting the skills on how to build that business, because every business is different. And it doesn't mean that you won't get it right. It just means the probability of you getting right is a little bit more because you understand business, but it's still low because of the lack of the industry, because the lack of the understanding of the industry and the industry needs trumps the skills of building a business. Marketplace is very difficult, absolutely. How do you market a software product? Many people are creating products but no active users. Yeah, run ads, bro. Create content on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Run ads on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, straight to a landing page where people can sign up for the software. Simple as that. But then the question is, the software needs to be good enough for people to want to stick around. Hey, buddy, what do you think about doing a Bolt fleet? Dude, a lot of people do it. Some people make good money. I don't know enough about it to tell you yes or no, but I am saying a lot of people are making quite a bit of money from it, at least for now. For how long, I don't know, before it gets difficult to monetize. But yeah. Guys, I'm going to have to go. See, there's still a lot of questions here that I didn't answer, and I apologize. I try to get to everything. You work with the Stitch guys, right? I mean, I know them. We've done one or two things together. And yeah, I mean, we send leads their way. They include us in opportunities here and there. Nice CEO. I love the CEO is a great guy. I know some of the marketing people there, so they're good people. Lester and guys on TikTok, I want to say thank you so much for joining. I'll be going live every day, or at least most days of the week. If you want to be notified, just click on the notification bell somewhere on the platform that you're on, and I'll see you guys around. The other thing is, just want to say thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun. Hope there was some value in it for you. I'm going to say good day, much love. All right, cool. I'm logging off, guys. All the best. Much love to you all. We'll chat soon.